Hello, folks. What comes to mind when we say the wheel, cars, trains? Actually, the wheel is simply the first great victory of human intelligence against nature. I'll ask you a simple question. Why did humanity carry everything on their backs for thousands of years? The answer is simple: friction. To drag an object across the ground, believe me, that meant an impossible amount of energy loss. Historians estimate that moving a single ton before the wheel cost exponentially more energy than we spend today. The wheel, this invention, permanently paid off that energy bill. At the start of our story, in the Fertile Crescent of Mesopotamia, farmers and architects faced the greatest physical obstacle to civilization: moving mass. Someone needed to convert this problem from dragging into rotation. What is the wheel? It's a circular machine that rotates around a center point, the axle, and minimizes friction by lifting the load off the ground. The need was born out of transporting agricultural surpluses and large building stones over long distances. Initially, they used logs as rollers, but that was just a temporary solution. The earliest evidence of the wheel is traced back to the Sumerians in Mesopotamia, around 3500 BC. But here's the major twist. The first wheel the Sumerians invented was not for transport. It was a horizontal potter's wheel designed to speed up ceramic production. They took this wheel and, with a stroke of engineering genius, turned it vertical. The true miracle wasn't the circular shape, but the axle. The axle is the critical point that allows the wheel to spin, while the cart remains stationary. This required assembling a moving part onto a static part and making it work without excessive friction. This was as difficult as nanotechnology for that era. The Sumerians overcame this challenge, and humanity, relieved of its burden, accelerated for the very first time. The invention of the wheel didn't just open trade routes, it fundamentally altered the social structure. With wheeled vehicles, goods could now be transporting to markets hundreds of kilometers away. This turned local markets into international hubs. The wheel was like the internet of the ancient world. However, the biggest impact was seen in warfare. The wheel, used in chariots, became the fastest and deadliest weapon of the armies. A light, wheeled vehicle pulled by a horse was an unstoppable tank against infantry. The wheel redefined military power. So who turned this simple wooden wheel into today's high-performance tire? There are two major breaking points in history. First, around 2000 BC, anonymous artisans hollowed out the solid wheel and added spokes, wire rims. The wheel became lighter, and the vehicles became much faster and more agile. The second occurred in 1888, and this was a comfort revolution. John Boyd Dunlop, a Scottish veterinarian, wanted to relieve his son's discomfort while riding his bicycle. He took a rubber tube, filled it with air, and invented the pneumatic, air-filled tire. This invention allowed the tire to absorb shock and laid the foundation for modern auto racing. And of course, I must remind you of that legendary anecdote. Humanity sent a vehicle to the moon in 1969, yet did not think to put wheels on suitcases until the 1970s. Sometimes the most obvious genius is the hardest to spot. Today, the wheel isn't just a means of transport, it is the essence of technology and information itself. In Formula One races, the engineering of those four tires is the only thing allowing the car to take corners. In motorcycle racing, a small contact patch on the ground determines the pilot's life. The logic of the wheel has permeated space, energy, and the digital world. The gear mechanisms in wind turbines, the rotating platters inside computer hard drives, and the frictionless system of magnetic levitation, maglev, trains. All these derive from the wheel's principle of movement. Furthermore, the honeycomb-structured, airless tires designed by NASA for Mars rovers determine the principles of the wheel's future durability and intelligence. The wheel started 5,000 years ago as a potter's wheel. Today, it beats at the heart of every machine that carries us to space and into the information age. From that nameless Sumerian artisan to John Boyd Dunlop and today's Formula One engineers, the wheel has always kept us moving. What do you think was the next great invention after the wheel that moved civilization just as much? Let's discuss it in the comments.